Yo, 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 it's your boy Tre Hendrix here with another reaction. And as y'all could see, my setup is getting a little better, you feel me? I added some soundproof panels, so hopefully the audio sounds just a little bit better. I know it ain't gonna be perfect, but we gonna do what we gotta do right now. I got a rug coming too. Yeah, so once that rug comes, I think it'll complete everything. Everything be looking, clean, you feel me? And I think I need, because I want to record when it's dark, but I need one of those little webcam lights on top, you feel me? But yeah, I appreciate y'all for noticing and checking it out, man. But you Toronto boys, man, no one asked for this that I recall. But I was like, you know what? I kind of want to watch it, but I was like, you know what? Let me just react to it so that way y'all could get my reaction, just in case y'all, wanted me to do this. But we got a Mind Soul 6 video, man. Where? What the heck happened? Okay, hold up. We gonna fix this. And I'm not even gonna edit this. We gonna keep it raw. We gonna keep it, you know what I mean? But yeah, I got a Mind Soul 6 video, Savages from the 6 Sizzlac, you feel me? I don't know anything about Sizzlac or anything like that. I do know he was getting smoked on the Packs on Pack song that Top 5 dropped, or I don't think he dropped it, I think it was a leak. But he was getting smoked on, you feel me? So I kind of pretty much tells me the story of how it ends. But either way, I'm gonna react to it. I know y'all enjoy these, and I low-key enjoy these too, and it'll help my watch time get up, you feel me? So we all winning on this, you feel me? But anyway, before I get into it, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe, and drop a comment on who I should react to next. And I also added something a little new in the description. There are ways to support me, you know what I mean? So that way you can help me upgrade my channel, and I could get bigger and better equipment and do all that, you feel me? So that's in the description below. But I'm gonna do enough talking. It's already a long video. We gonna get right into it, man. Let's do it.
Me and Fuga niggas don't mix. They calling my name. Why? They know I'm a problem. I'm going insane.
Is that Sizzlac rapping this right now?
Holding the gauge. Yep. I might rap on you and give you the business. You know that he finished. My niggas finesse. We up in the Rex. You know that we.
Oh, he's up in the Rex. That's Rexdale, you feel me? I remember. Who else was from Rexdale? Young Lava was from Rexdale, right? I think Young Lava was from Rexdale.
This is 29-year-old Mustafa Omar, better known as Sizzlac or LV. He's a Toronto rapper, reigning from the Jamestown Rexdale area, and a member of the gang IDS, which stands for In the Streets. Sizzlac was fairly new to the rap game, but despite only releasing a couple tracks, he still managed to build up a head of steam with his singles, What You Know About Me, Where Ya At, Chirac, and most notably, Realist in the 6, receiving over 1 million views on
Realist in the 6. I gotta react to that one. I might do it after I react to this video. I don't know. We'll see how we feel.
YouTube. He also featured on a track called IDS with fellow members Moolah First, Young Dubs, and Pyrex. Sizzlac had some potential, but with only a few songs put out, it looks like he put more energy into his gang and into the streets rather than his music. This would eventually lead to him not only getting caught up in gang politics and the law, and have some of his actions catch up to him. So today, on Savages from the 6, we'll take a look at Jamestown's Sizzlac.
Hey, we gonna do this for the thumbnail. But yeah, that's usually how it goes. I feel like with a lot of these Savages from the 6 videos, at least the ones I've been watching, I feel like they gangsters first and then the rap is just secondary. But it's a real shame, man, because some of these dudes, like, I don't even want to say some, a lot of these dudes just have talent. You know what I mean? If they focus their whole time, in rapping, they wouldn't have to worry about the gang shit, but they be in too deep, you know what I mean? It's easy for me to say, because like there were gangs, but there were no black gangs in my area, so the gangs were never a thing for me, you know what I mean? But when you grow up in that kind of environment, that's like all you know what I mean? Like,
Sizzlac is from a housing complex located on Jamestown Crescent, which is one of the many hoods spread throughout Rexdale. a region in the city that sadly has been plagued by gangs, drugs, homicides, and everything in between. Now what sets Jamestown apart from the other hoods is that most Crip gangs within Rexdale first originated in this complex, before branching out into different splinters. The gang that originally existed was called the Jamestown Crew, before IDS came to be. Sizzlac wasn't just a member of IDS, he was actually the founder of the gang. It was created sometime in the early
And he a founder? Alright, so that's some OG status. That's some OG
2010s,
status.
and shares an alliance with the majority of the other Rexdale Crip gangs. But it was a proven bumpy journey for Sizzlac to get to the point of being.
That's crazy. Like, how do you create a gang? Like he created a gang in the early 2010s. Like, I can't imagine. Like, how does that happen? Like, do you file like an LLC or something? Like, that was stupid. But not for real. Like, how do you start a gang? I feel like it's damn near impossible. I don't know how you would do that.
Being able to start a gang. Sizzlac was born in Canada, but his background is from Somalia. His parents were part of the influx of migrants from the Caribbean and East Africa that started in the 1960s onwards to the 90s. At the time, people.
Y'all got a lot of Somalians up in Toronto. Well, just a lot of people from Africa, a lot of Caribbean people in general. Like, it's pretty diverse over there where y'all be at, man. I'm not even gonna lie.
Claimed there was tension in Rexdale between Somalians and Jamaicans. Jamaicans migrated to the country and populated Jamestown first, with Somalians following, which sparked problems, as young Jamaican men wanted to control the area under their own terms, and there was also just a clash of culture. It's said that Sizzlac was some sort of revolutionary, starting a movement to bring more power to Somalians in not only Jamestown, but all of Rexdale. Nowadays, you can see that the two groups seem more unified, and gangs consist of both nationalities. This is one of the reasons why Sizzlac was well respected amongst other young.
Oh, okay. So we got people who got the Jamaicans and Somalians to dap it up and be like, yo, we gonna work as one, we gonna be one unit. You feel me? That's what it's sounding like. And if that's the case, then hey, salute. You feel me? I don't know what the beef is about anyway, you know what I mean?
That Sizzlac was some sort of revolutionary, starting a movement to bring more power to Somalians in not only Jamestown, but all of Rexdale. Nowadays, you can see that the two groups seem more unified, and gangs consist of both nationalities. This is one of the reasons why Sizzlac was well respected amongst other young men, especially within the Somalian community, and some even labeled him as quote-unquote the most feared Somali in Toronto. Sizzlac and his gang would quickly make themselves known and begin leaving their mark on the city.
Hey, you most feared Somalian in Toronto? That means, you know, people be gunning for you, you feel me? What a Rolex homie said, they packing name brands. He a name brand. Come on, man.
IDS is the main factor for the high crime rate that Jamestown has seen over the years. Amongst other enemies, one of their biggest foes are the Driftwood Crips, with several shootings and homicides.
Why, see? Hey, yo, damn, I really fuck with a lot of those Driftwood artists, you know what I mean? I really fuck with a lot of them, man. I like Pressa. I just got put on to J-Neat. YG, of course, has like the funniest like bars, you feel me? I fuck with a lot of them Driftwood dudes, man.
On both sides being linked to this beef. One of the many incidents happened in April of 2015. It's alleged IDS members were responsible for a mass shooting that happened on Driftwood Avenue. It's alleged 4 members drove down the street and opened fire from their vehicle, aiming at a crowd that was standing outside of some townhomes. A hail of gunfire hit 5 people, but luckily no one was killed. Police ended up tracking down the 4 alleged IDS members, and they all shared 100 charges, a couple being attempted murder and possession of a firearm.
Oh, 100 charges? You ain't seen the life. You ain't seen the light of day with 100 charges. But then again, I don't know how the Canada legal system works, but it can't be too much different than the United States.
With a tampered serial number. It's believed the shooting was gang-related and part of the Jamestown vs. Driftwood beef. One of the suspects convicted in the incident was.
Do Driftwood be beefing with everybody? Because that's how it sounds like. Like when I be watching the videos, I feel like Driftwood always in the middle of some shit.
32-year-old Clifton Vassell, The same man charged with first-degree murder after shooting and killing 47-year-old Andrew Siraj over a gold chain a year earlier, in October of 2014. Clifton was trying to rob Andrew's friend of his chain.
Hold on, let's go back. Let's go back.
100 charges, a couple being attempted murder and possession of a firearm with a tampered serial number. It's believed the shooting was gang-related and part of the Jamestown vs. Driftwood beef. One of the suspects convicted in the incident was 32-year-old Clifton Vassell, the same man charged with first-degree murder after shooting and killing 47-year-old Andrew Siraj over a gold chain a year earlier, in October of 2014. Clifton was trying to rob Andrew's friend of his chain outside of a club, but Andrew kept intervening. Clifton allegedly ran back to his car, got his gun, came back and shot Andrew once in his chest, killing him. Clifton was already in.
That's ridiculous. That's fucking stupid, man. Like, that's why I always say, like, if someone try to rob me, I'm gonna be like, hell nah. And then after that, like, I'm gonna just give them whatever, you feel me? It's not worth my life, whatever I got on, you feel me? That's why I don't be wearing flashy shit. Also, because I can't afford flashy shit. But even if I could, man, like, you just gotta take that L, bro. Don't try to fight or do nothing. Your life is more important than whatever's on your neck, on your wrist, whatever, you feel me? But that's stupid, though. Like, why would you... I don't know, man.
In jail for the mass shooting on Driftwood when he was charged with this murder, and he can be seen in Sizzlac's music video for What You Know About Me. IDS is a ruthless gang, but some members have found themselves on the other end of the gun
really
as well.
crippin' out there.
A popular rapper and fellow member Young Dubs, who Sizzlac had a track with, was shot and killed on a Brampton driveway in May of 2017, the killing seemingly also being tied to a gang feud. Despite which IDS members ended up passing away or being arrested, this group has continuously wreaked havoc around the city, with Rexdale being their stomping grounds. Now before I get more into Sizzlac's past, first we can talk about some of the rumors. Now it can't be confirmed, but it's alleged.
Oh yeah, now we're going back to Sizzlac and, you know, his involvement. And I guess they're going into rumors about what he's allegedly done or not done. That's where I think we're going with this. Because obviously being that big of a gangster, they're going to have a target on your back. We know that. Sorry, y'all. We know this, you know what I mean?
Said he had 5+ bodies. Someone even said he had 6. One user wrote that he killed a few Yardis in the past, referring to Jamaicans. Since there was some sort of Somalian revolution going on at the time in Jamestown, and some tension between the two nationalities, it's not far-fetched to think that things would get bloody at some point. As to whether Sizzlac himself got his hands dirty in the clash, well, only people that are close to him or with some real insider info could tell you. What we do know is that Sizzlac called himself the Molly with the bodies, and this is the kind of reputation.
And even if Sizzlac don't got any bodies himself, I'm pretty sure he responsible for some shit going down. You know what I mean? You don't be the head of nothing, founder of the gang, without, you feel me, calling the shots. You feel me? So, you know he got some blood on his hands. Let's keep it a bean.
And street credit that you need to launch a gang and have people follow behind you. Someone also said he used to be a plug in Rexdale. And considering a post he made on his Instagram of a shoebox filled with bundles of cash, well, he definitely had some sort of lucrative business. Well, to summarize, my research showed me that Sizzlac had a hell of a reputation. With that being said, now let's get into his documented history. His first major run-in with police happened in the early hours of June 6, 2009 in Brampton. Sizzlac was at a crowded house party going on at 8678 Chinguacauzi Road with some of his friends. This gathering of over 100 people was happening at a residence which was reported to have had its fair share of noisy parties. At some point in time, a dispute began between Sizzlac's group and another, which eventually led to close-quarter gunfire inside the home. People scrambled for
inside the crib? That's nuts. That's nuts. But I mean, I can see it happening.
Share of noisy parties. At some point in time, a dispute began between Sizzlac's group and another, which eventually led to close-quarter gunfire inside the home. People scrambled for cover and fled the party, trying to escape the shooting. Police and emergency crews quickly swarmed the scene after being alerted that shots were fired in the area. The aftermath, 8 people ended up being shot, 2 of which died. 29-year-old Garth Palmer and 40-year-old Terrence Elliott were both shot multiple times and pronounced dead on the scene.
R.I.P.
Police didn't have suspects.
R.I.P. man, what the That sucks.
At first, but it was such a massive function with tons of witnesses, so the investigation moved quickly and a name came up. Within a few short weeks, they were able to catch the first of what would be 2 suspects in the shooting. On June 30th, 2009, police had tracked down Mustafa Omar, Sizzlac, to his home, and he was arrested and charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. Now this is where we come across another rumor that was floating around. This one being that he snitched on his friend. I guess this is a theory, because at first,
we don't know if this is true or not. If he did snitch on his boy, then you a bitch, man. We don't fuck with snitches on the Tre Hendrix channel. And if he didn't, then he didn't, you feel me? But we don't fuck with snitches.
The police were only looking for 1 suspect.
Yeah, I'm using this time right now. If you a snitch or you condone snitching, we at the halfway point of the video, or maybe probably even still earlier. Leave this video right now. This ain't for you, son. Like, dead ass. We don't do that.
But once Sizzlac was arrested, then they announced that they were looking for another suspect. A YouTube commenter even claims to have seen paperwork, but I couldn't find this paperwork online or any mention of it. It seems like it's just loose gossip without much context, but I still thought I'd quickly address it. I doubt Sizzlac would be able to organize a gang or have the rep that he had if people even had the slightest suspicion that he snitched.
Agreed.
But anyways, the police searched for the second suspect, and a few months later, they ended up being successful. On Friday, October 23rd, 2009, the suspect was located and arrested. 21-year-old Justin Bellinger was charged alongside Sizzlac with 2 counts of second-degree.
Justin Bellinger? Who the hell was that? Was that a white dude or something?
Murder. Both were formally charged at a court arraignment on the same Friday before being remanded back into custody. Sizzlac and his accomplice would then spend a couple years in jail while they awaited their preliminary hearing. Unbeknownst to them, the police didn't really have a clear picture of what happened at the party. The house was used as an after-hours club and was apparently occupied every weekend, with neighbors calling it a quote-unquote party house. They even had a security guard that frisked people for weapons on entry.
Yo, the house had a security and it's after party house. I've never heard of no shit like that. That's crazy though.
The same security guard claims that the guns the suspects used in the murder were elaborately snuck in through a back window of the house. There wasn't any information given about what caused the
Okay, if you know how the guns were getting sneaked in, then why weren't you doing your job, Mr. Security Guard? Come on, man.
dispute or if the killings were tied to gangs. Well, it turns out that there wasn't much information about anything at all. Whatever evidence the police had against Sizzlac, it proved to be insufficient because he never ended up going to trial or being indicted for the 2 murder charges. One of them was discharged by a judge in September 2010, and the other one was withdrawn by the Crown in October of 2011. Although Sizzlac did plead guilty to an aggravated assault charge in relation to the same incident and was sentenced to serve 6 months in jail. Adding in the time spent awaiting trial, in total, Sizzlac ended up spending around 2.5 years behind bars. But miraculously, in the end he walked free of both murders. Now I couldn't find out if the co-accused, Justin Bellinger's charges were dropped too, but they likely were, because he was a free man a few years down the road, around October of 2016, when he was arrested in an undercover fentanyl drug bust. Since Sizzlac got out virtually unscathed, it's possible Justin's case had the same outcome.
I mean, that's probably what happened. You ain't getting second-degree murder and you're gonna be out within 6 years or whatever, 7 years. Hell no. At least in most cases. At least in most cases here in the States. They have some funny laws where motherfuckers really... But unless you a cop, there's no way that you're gonna serve like 7 years. You're gonna serve way longer than that.
Regrettably, he found himself locked up again anyways. As for Sizzlac, beating the case only boosted his recognition in the city. It also seemed to boost his ego, because he gloats about the outcome of his case, with lyrics in his song, What You Know About Me, rapping about how Gucci Mane only caught 1 body, but he beat a case for 2. Sizzlac wasn't charged
Why would you rap that in the song? I would not.
for the 2 murders, so technically he was innocent of the crime. But word of mouth seemed to say otherwise, and this hearsay only solidified his existing reputation in Rexdale. About a year later in 2010, he decided to create IDS. So fast forward a bit to 2012 now. It's been a few years since IDS was founded, and they've become an established gang. This is the year Sizzlac made his introduction to YouTube, hopping on the track IDS. He and other members of the gang musically started picking up traction. 2 years later, in 2014, he would release his single What You Know About Me, and do solid numbers. He remains
So he didn't start rapping till way later in the game, you feel me?
silent for
I feel like everybody tries rapping at least once. I feel like everybody has like a rapper stint. Am I wrong? I mean, I did. You feel me? But
about a year later in 2010, he decided to create IDS. So fast forward a bit to 2012 now. It's been a few years since IDS was founded, and they've become an established gang. This is the year Sizzlac made his introduction to YouTube, hopping on the track IDS. He and other members of the gang musically started picking up traction. 2 years later, in 2014, he would release his single What You Know About Me, and do solid numbers. He remained silent for 2 years, before he would release his song with the most notoriety, Realist in the Six, which brings us to our next event in the timeline. On top of the
I really gotta react to that. I might react to that next. You feel me? It sounded like a dope song when they played the snippet earlier.
general idea of the song, which is basically claiming he's the realest in the six amongst all others, there's more to it. Now this song turned out to be a diss track, aimed at a couple rival gangs. All throughout the video, members can be seen constantly pointing 3 fingers down, a clear diss to 3L, also known as the Driftwood Crips. Sizzlac even goes as far as making the clerk of a store do the gesture too.
No.
There are also a few more subtle shots in the video, such as Sizzlac constantly lighting up a cigarette, referring to smoking a pack or smoking an enemy. This is obviously a shot at not only 3L, but any fallen rivals of IDS. These mentioned disses aren't the only ones that seem to exist in this video. In the beginning clips, Sizzlac enters a Chinese restaurant named New Ho King, located in the Spadina and College area. Underneath the surface, this restaurant may have some sort of connection with a Parkdale gang known as HOK, or Heart of a King gang. It's possible that Sizzlac simply being there was a jab at the gang. By Sizzlac smoking in the restaurant, as well as in the alleyway located behind it, he illustrates that he may not only be linked to a fallen HOK member, but that he's also pretty relaxed and comfortable on their turf.
No, that's a no. If you are no. I see where this is going already. Well, anytime a Savage is from the 6th video, I feel like they're either in jail or already deceased. You feel me? RIP. If I think he is deceased, but
New Ho King is the same scene where a few HOK members, including their leader, shot and killed 2 innocent men for apparently no reason in January 2016. It was honestly a brutal killing, and I cover this story in another video if you're interested. And the restaurant's also the scene of a shooting that happened in 2014, but no one was injured. Sizzlac lounging around New Ho King doesn't seem like the only hint he was trying to diss HOK. Sizzlac can also be seen rapping in front.
dude, I'll be really wanting to visit Toronto, but these videos do not do y'all justice, bro. I'm gonna go in there with my head on a swivel, son. I'm like, they make this shit sound crazy.
Another video if you're interested. And the restaurant's also the scene of a shooting that happened in 2014, but no one was injured. Sizzlac lounging around New Ho King doesn't seem like the only hint he was trying to diss HOK. Sizzlac can also be seen rapping in front of a gray building, which is coincidentally the same spot another Toronto rapper, Easy Ano, filmed a clip for his music video over 3 years prior, and both shots are framed in a similar way. Easy Ano is an avid member of HOK who doesn't shy away from the fact.
Alright, so this ain't that's like a little subliminal diss or, jab at him. Dissing your ops, man, I know nowadays that shit's just normal. But damn, I couldn't just live my life like every day in fear. Well, some of these dudes don't even live in fear, but like I'm a pussy, you feel me? Like I'll live my life every day in fear, like knowing like, hey, someone might catch me slipping today, especially if I'm not in my own neighborhood.
He can be seen wearing all types of Heart of the King clothing in a variety of his music videos. This building may have been somewhere on HOK's home turf in Parkdale, or in some way related to the gang, because it doesn't seem like Sizzlac put in these similar clips by accident. The link between the restaurant New Ho King and the gang HOK are unclear, as well as the story behind their beef with IDS, but there does seem to be some animosity present between them. Easy Ano and HOK will come up again later in the story. For now, we come back to Sizzlac and the Realist in the Six. So he released it, and this methodically filmed diss track picked up quickly and started buzzing around the city. Not only did your average listener tune in, but also the rivals of Sizzlac, and the people who he intended to address in the song. There's no doubt Sizzlac had some previous beefs connected to IDS, but this song definitely expedited the process of foes trying to take him out. Realist in the Six was on fire.
Especially when you say some shit like Realist in the Six, like you just putting a target on your back. Like, I don't know. To me, like if I was trying to say it without sounding like, I would just move different. Like I feel like if I'm doing something like, if I'm gangbanging or selling drugs or doing whatever, then I'm not gonna be doing music videos dissing hoods or nothing. Like I'm gonna just keep a low profile and do my thing. You just making it hot for yourself. Not only with the ops, but the police too. You feel me? Like they can look at your music videos and see what's up. Am I that crazy for thinking like that? Like, I don't know.
Views steadily climbing, but it wouldn't be long before the heat caught up to him. We now enter the final chapter of the story. It's the spring of 2016. On the morning of April 23rd, police responded to a reported shots fired at 7475 Goreway Drive, a housing complex in the Malton area, not too far from Rexdale. When they arrived, they found 4 victims suffering gunshots. They were all rushed to the hospital, but sad to say, one man was pronounced dead. The man who died was Sizzlac. It's reported that he was shot multiple times. Neighbors claim they heard gunshots from outside, so the incident didn't take place inside the party. This information seems to coincide with a comment that someone made online, claiming that Sizzlac was ambushed as he left the party, the killers taking advantage of the fact that he was likely under the influence that night.
Yeah, got caught lacking. RIP, man. Yeah, you got caught lacking. Like, yeah, you can't just be dissing hoods and not even counting the gang shit you were doing, and then be moving around like getting like allegedly drunk or high or whatever. You definitely in like a public area. Oh no, that's a no.
As far as what happened, there really isn't any details on the news reports covering the shooting, giving off the impression that the police didn't really have any leads as to who committed the murder. But obviously with Sizzlac's past, the book was wide open as far as who did it.
Yeah.
There is some speculation going around that it was Easy Ano, the same rapper that I mentioned earlier. This loose theory is basically due to the fact that he is part of HOK, and it seemed that he was specifically dissed. Easy Ano hasn't been charged, so this is just still a rumor that's floating around in the—
This is a rumor. If you don't, well, just because they got static or beef with someone, that don't mean he killed them or responsible for killing them.
air. Related to that matter, to this day, no one has ever been charged with Sizzlac's murder, so it remains open to speculation. If it wasn't Easy Ano or HOK responsible for Sizzlac's killing, then it could have been any number of other IDS rivals. Either way, Realist in the Six definitely pissed some people off, to the point where they wanted Sizzlac dead as soon as possible. The news of his death spread quickly, and a variety of different stations covered it. Some people were surprised, but at the same time, some people weren't. People who knew Sizzlac could quickly link his blatant diss track to his death, and it didn't seem like a coincidence, but probably retaliation. His murder appears to be another victim of an ongoing gang war, and his death contributes to the continuing cycle. Even after Sizzlac passed away, an event that may be linked to him occurred in May of 2020. Rising Toronto artist Houdini.
Long live Houdini, man. RIP.
Was shot and killed in a brazen daylight shooting in the downtown area. Houdini was from Driftwood and part of Wasp Gang / 3L, and arguably the fastest rising artist from the set, which made him a prime target for 3L's long list of enemies. A year earlier, in February of 2019, Houdini featured on a track with YG called Auntie, which contained a few shots at IDS. YG had a bar saying, "I got a Dubs in my backy," referring to Young Dubs who was killed, and Houdini's Louis V belt can be seen upside down, some claiming it's disrespect to LV, which was the name that Sizzlac used to go by. Some people
so that might be a subliminal shot. I mean, I don't think that's just fashion, like, oh, I'm gonna put my belt upside down.
think those responsible for Houdini's murder are tied to IDS, but nothing can be proven. Driftwood Crips are known to be one of the most hostile gangs in the city, having too many enemies to count on one hand. so there could be an endless amount of suspects. In conclusion, Sizzlac had an action-packed journey over his years. He started off as some type of revolutionary for mistreated young Somalian men in Jamestown, and brought needed respect to their nationality and culture. It's unfortunate that Sizzlac went from the defensive, battling Jamaicans for his rightful spot in Jamestown, to the offensive, allegedly committing murders, founding gangs, and making diss records. Sizzlac had a long rap sheet, and what's documented on the internet
Definitely a complicated legacy.
is probably just dipping a toe in his real history. All the acts he committed over the years finally seemed to catch up to him, and Realist in the Six ended up being the last music from Sizzlac. It's evident
Hey, is IDS still around? Let me know.
that he'll be remembered by not only those in Rexdale, but people in the entire city, whether it be in a positive or negative light. Rest in peace to everyone who passed away in this story, including Sizzlac.
Hey, RIP Sizzlac. That nigga was really getting smoked in the last song I did. The last song I reacted to, the Packs on Packs joint. Yeah, man. So I went ahead and reacted to that, y'all. I don't know. It's just a sad story, man. I feel like each one is kind of a similar thing. You feel me? Like, you're gonna diss your ops on a song and whoop-de-whoop, and you're gonna be a part of this, gang shit. You feel me? And it's gonna come to an end one way or other. You know what I mean? Like, it never ends pretty. Never, man. And I feel like Toronto got way too many of these artists. You know what I mean? Especially artists that'll be like stupid talented too. You feel me? But yeah, I might have to react to Realist in the Six, man. I might do it, y'all. So we'll see. And I got more reactions on the way. You Toronto boys, thank y'all for holding it down so far. I got y'all, man. And other than that, your boy Tre Hendrix, thank you. I'm out.